just want to let you know.
For a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women, now guarding the gates of freedom, and a salute to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Statement of publication, please, Jessica.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 8th day of November 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti.
Here.
Delina.
Here.
Enriquez.
Here.
Mar. Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
At this time, I'll ask for approval of prior minutes. Council President Delina, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes as listed on the agenda be approved on roll call vote.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak. Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, at this point, I do believe that we have need for executive session. I'll turn over to our borough attorney.
Yes, Mayor, whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from meeting circumstances, and whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Servo, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey. The public meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 10 to 15 minutes to discuss personnel, contract negotiations, and litigation. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. The resolution shall take effect immediately.
May I have a motion, please, and a second for the executive
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
session? Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please excuse us for just about 10, 15 minutes, Dan? Yes. Okay, and then we will.
think we get so used to it that we don't even think it's not normal. No, I think it's normal for me. Yeah. Look at this, I'm like crawling around. Oh. Yeah, but you didn't see me put shower. Yeah, although, no. At least you took one. Barely. I know, right? I ate so fast when I came home that my husband said, "Did you eat before you were going?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And I waited. I and I'm so much hungry. Because you got paying attention. I know. I watch my TV all the time. I mean, it's like the same people going to this stuff. Yeah. Like I can listen for like 4 months and the same person will go. Yeah. You're not missing anything. But I think you watch. Oh, that's what I saw right now. Yeah. It's just like the same thing, different guy. Things I was supposed to do before I did. Getting my nail polish. I have a guy, 2 days. I was, yeah.
Is this thing on?
I'm not even saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Not saying it. I didn't do my homework, Karen. I didn't do it. Yes, I was supposed to do homework, and Karen's gonna be mad at me. Because I didn't. Really bad.
Thank you so much. This is Denise Morgan.
Hi, how
Denise,
are
this
you?
is Eunice Juniper,
Hi.
our incoming council candidate. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so excited.
We are very excited. I was looking at the stats. This hasn't happened. So, we needed this. Yeah, absolutely.
She's like, I'll take Annie.
I got worried when I saw it. I got worried when I saw it.
Wherever you want to go, we're not forcing you. took 8 days, or then the other one, he met me up there. I don't have. That's it, no, I'm not, no pressure. I just got to. I'm not coming back to work. I don't have time to. I know. Oh, wow. My cousin, she was an anesthesia worker, for like, I don't know, what she does it for someone, yeah, so she got something all the time. Yep. She's got a lot. Sometimes like, takes like 5 or 6 at a time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have 4 litters of them tomorrow. I don't know where they're gonna go. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna trap them and I'm gonna be. I wish I didn't have an allergy. I definitely. I think they're cute. Yeah. Tell me. You can. Even the dogs. Yeah. When I had my son's dog for a weekend, I died. Yeah. It's so bad. I can't breathe. Yeah. You can't. It's healthy. She does. I don't know what she does. She puts like stir fire all over her house. Works for her. Yeah, it does. My husband used to get shots. Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. They do all of that. They get all the shots about her, and she just takes care of them for until they find she's doing that. Beautiful thing. You know what I said? She keeps some of them out. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people. She gets attached. I don't do that. Yeah, no. I can get completely overwhelmed. She does like get attached. It's hard not to. I'm like, okay, I need her at your limit. Yeah. This is just, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, I foster, and I'm like, oh god, I wonder how many cats they have. Usually they have a lot. Oh, yeah. She even takes care of the ones outside. She feeds them every day. Yeah. They're teenagers, so I assume that they're safe. I guess. I'm not sure. Every night she puts out food for them, water. She has like little houses out there for them. Good. Yeah, she's perfect. I mean, yeah, I'm sure she has them all fixed too. I'm sure. She sounds like she would. Oh, she's obsessed. Like they're like her children, even though they're not in the house. Yeah, mine too. Even the outside ones. She has names for them. I drive them. I drive them away as one sounds on the porch. Like I grab them in the back of the door. I'm always late. Has to do something with them. They always know when to come for dinner. Oh yes. Oh, absolutely. They're like clockwork. That's why their time changes. Screws them all up. And they don't. Oh, that's true. That's they're sitting there looking at you, and you're like. Although I feel more wide awake than I am. That's good. For you, I'm not. But I'm anticipating tomorrow. I have to get up at 5 in the morning because I try to get 5:30 in the morning. So. Yeah, no. I get up 6 every day. That's just too early. 5 is early. 6 is like. Yeah, it's really good. I would prefer like 8:39. That's perfect. Yeah. I have to start work before that. Yeah. I like to get the first half at like 7:30. Frank, this is Denise Branch. She's not the
Okay, I know the fundraiser. You're behind that.
That's my daughter. She tries. You know what? She's also an avid traveler and trying to help all the cats. That's right. I'm in the Bible. She's the queen. I'm gonna tell you something. I try to be her queen. I try to be Mary in the Bible. What do I do on Sunday? Well, I have to say, but on my own Servo. Yeah, learn that by the block. I'm in there a lot, just saying. No, these are our prayers, and we also have the the part we've been reading about everybody too. No, we did, we did, we're kind of doing, a book at a time. Right, we all take a turn to like read it, and then talk about each chapter, and what it means to us, because it's how you perceive it. Like, what I read, somebody else read, and look at it completely different. To what? When I used to do it years ago, I used to do like a Psalms and a Proverbs every night. Like one Psalm, one Proverbs, one Psalm every day. But this is more of just like, they don't really know how to, and there is a science of reading the Bible. So whatever happened 10 years ago, boy, all the cats that didn't have to be 10 years. No, it's so silly. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So over that 10-year period, it's just criminal. It's sort of like, you know, we're going down the hall. These are puppies and dogs we were talking about. I wouldn't be having this conversation. I was in your neck of the woods, should I? Yeah. Yeah, I was in like your business. Oh, yeah. It's not associated humane society. We are looking probably in the next like month or two before we're actually trying to start another business. So I don't even I don't even want to hear a source. Yeah. We're definitely gonna we're definitely looking for well, because he was doing what he should have been doing with that. We're gonna like grow it, really well in the next few months. So there was like a vacuum. There was like a vacuum back then. 7 with that. Yeah. 2035. Yes, they are.
Is there a motion to reconvene?
Make a motion to reconvene?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Wonderful. So we are back, and that means that we are ready for our first and only presentation of this evening. I see our gentlemen have already come to our podium, so that means you are ready as well. Good to see you again, gentlemen. And do you need your easel set up as well?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I have some handouts here if I could pass out. Need another one for your colleague? Okay.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name's Tom Fletcher, and I'm from Reliance Insurance Group. We're the brokers for the borough for your benefits. And with me, joining me here is Brandon Lodix. He's the executive director for PERMA, which is the administrator for the Central Jersey HIF, or Health Insurance Fund. And as I think everybody remembers, the borough joined the HIF on January 1, 2020. And it was a very smooth transition from a direct contract with Aetna to benefits under the umbrella of the HIF. And it's proved to be a very, very beneficial relationship for the borough. If you recollect, for 1/1/21, your renewal was 0%. And we're happy to pronounce that this year's renewal will be just 1%. However, this year's renewal includes a proposal for a little modification on how your retiree benefits for over age 65 Medicare population is going to be administered. The HIF is proposing that we join what they call a Medicare Advantage program, and all that is a modern vehicle that combines Medicare with the legacy Aetna plan under one umbrella and offers the benefits in the same fashion that you have right now. But it actually enhances the benefits quite a bit. There's zero out-of-pocket cost for your retirees. And there's actually some additional enhancements of benefits such as hearing aids and things of that nature, but also broadens the network from which you are able, or your retirees are able to access. You no longer have to be cognizant of just using the old Aetna network. You can use any physician or hospital within the United States with the only issue that has to, the hospital or physician has to accept Medicare. And virtually every physician and hospital in America accepts Medicare. And so we did some analysis on your plan as well, where we looked at the providers that your retirees were using. And we matched that up against the Medicare acceptance provider list. And we're happy to inform you that you had a 100% match. There is no fallout whatsoever. Okay, so it's just going to be one card that the retiree would be carrying. It would say Aetna Medicare Advantage. The retiree still has to pay their Part B premium or however that's reimbursed through the borough. None of that would change. However, it's just one plan under the Medicare Advantage program. So in the packet that's included with it, don't get scared, we're not going to go through everything, but there is a few things that I just kind of like to point out to you. First is a letter that's been granted by the PERMA or the Central Jersey HIF that is guaranteeing equal to or better than benefits for your retirees. And Brandon here has assured me once again tonight in the back of the room that he was saying, if we do find something that may happen to fall out, we will correct it and make good, just in the same fashion that we did when the entire benefit plan rolled over to the Central Jersey HIF. And then also there's a benefit summary for the Medicare benefit program. There's some collateral from Aetna in here. And then the last thing I just kind of want to point to your attention here, there's a benefit comparison that was prepared by our office that has the legacy plans from the Aetna on the, I guess, your left side, and then the Medicare Advantage program on your right. And you will see in virtually every column, it says it's either matching the benefit or improving upon them. There is zero out-of-pocket expense for the retiree. Now, you should have some confidence that the move that you're making here, or hopefully will make, is this is the same program that the state of New Jersey gives for the state health benefit programs for their retirees, but this program is actually better because the state has a little out-of-pocket expense. This one has none. And this is also becoming very prevalent throughout the state of New Jersey for a lot of your fellow municipalities throughout the state are adopting similar plans as well. And the Central Jersey HIF and PERMA, help me out, Brandon, how many accounts do you have under your umbrella?
We probably have about 60 municipalities that have this plan.
And they all have the Medicare Advantage plan in place. So I know there's been some apprehension I've heard some rumblings from some people about this, but I can assure you that this is a very, very good plan. And I have found in my 30-plus year career, when I put municipalities into this, there's a little hesitancy from your retireds because, you know, the change and everything like that. But once they get into this and get accustomed to using it and how simple it is, they're like, don't ever take this away from me. It really, truly, we do see this quite often. So just to allay any of your concerns or perhaps maybe answer some questions that you might have, I brought Brandon with me, who is the subject expert matter. and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So if they did notice a change, however rare or impossible that may be, would you make the change retroactive?
Yes.
So what is the significant difference between the current plan and moving into this plan?
So that's a very good question. So once you turn age 65 and become Medicare eligible and Medicare primary, Medicare is primary for your coverage, and then the group plan, which was that wraps around that, and that becomes secondary. So everything gets submitted to Medicare first, and then any balances or anything like that that are eligible get rolled over to the Aetna plan and pay accordingly. Under this program, the Medicare premiums that are paid on behalf of the member get sent over to Aetna, and it's all under one umbrella where the benefits are administered from, and everything is virtually at 100%. There's no need to file to Medicare and then balances over to Aetna or vice versa.
So it's streamlining the administrative?
Thank you. That's a very good way to put it, yes. I also, I didn't preface that this only affects the medical coverage. The pharmacy coverage and dental coverage will still stay in the same fashion as it is right now.
And all of this is done without any cost, and it actually looks like a cost benefit on some of the columns?
Right, so it's cost neutral to the borough,
Okay.
and to the member, it's enhancing the coverage, because there's no co-pays or any out-of-pocket expense anymore. No, it's, so the 1% renewal had contemplated them going into this, yes.
So if there's no savings to the borough and some members are not for it, why would we be willing to make a change?
So the 1% renewal contemplates going into this. If the borough decided not to adopt this, there would have to be adjustment to the rate for the over age 65 population.
And what have those rates been typically? I know they're probably more than.
Brandon, I'm gonna say,
Yes, traditionally, we've actually not allowed that as an option, but, we want to work with the borough, make sure this is a seamless transition. There's definitely some financial value to this vehicle. So we could get back to you, but it would probably be in the realm for the over 65 population, probably a double-digit increase.
That's what I anticipated.
And it winds up being convenient for the members too. I mean, one place to go for it, not having to worry about Medicare and then going to Aetna. And so once the members get into this plan, I think they're going to see that it's more convenient.
Oh, sorry.
It's not?
It's not, because Medicare, there are many treatments and/or tests that Medicare doesn't cover. So right now, Aetna picks that up. But if we go into this and Medicare doesn't cover a test, you either don't get it or you pay for it yourself.
So part of is it okay if I?
Yeah.
So part of the equal to or better than guarantee the fund provides is also that additional level of coverage of benefits that may be covered now under your current arrangement. So as the fund would uphold our part of the arrangement, or part of our commitment to the Borough of Servo and the membership of the Borough of Servo, if one of those examples was brought to our attention, we would make whole on the members.
I've just been hearing from so many doctors that they accept Medicare, they will not accept Medicare Advantage.
So, oh, go ahead, Tom.
Councilwoman, if I may address that. So this is a group Medicare Advantage contract, which is different from most of the Medicare Advantage contracts that your physicians or hospitals may be referring to. And those are individual plans, right? That's when if you have, elderly parents or something that they get stuff in the mail all the time to buy these things. And that is not this plan. This is a group-based plan that is, as Brandon said, alluded to, it's going to offer equal to or better than coverage. And if we find something that wasn't covered under this plan and it was covered under the Aetna plan, we will make good on it. But we're very, very confident that that won't happen. It's the equal to or better
Equal
than
to or
letter,
better
yeah.
than is in there. Now, the equal to or better than language that you're providing is actually stronger than the contract language that we currently have with our retirees. Isn't that correct? I think, isn't the contract language equal to or substantially similar or similar?
I'd have to check it out, but I think the letter, what she's saying, substantial is, no matter what, trumps whatever's even.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought that in our contract language with all of our employees.
So the effective date for this program, we're targeting March 1st. So we have some time to work out some of these issues and answer people's questions and perhaps allay some of their fears. Or if they bring something to our attention that we're not aware of, we will certainly do the investigation into that and make sure we make good on these things.
So, just so that I'm clear, so the Medicare Advantage that Councilman Novak is talking about is not the same Medicare Advantage that we're typically hearing. So it sounds like under you guys, this is a separate, happen to be similar terminology, but not the similar
Correct.
plans.
Correct.
Now, I've
So-
had that happen with changes even within the Board of Education, where when we'd have changes, if something was covered previously for a member, like, let's say, hormone replacement therapies, just because I dealt with that. It was covered under a previous plan, and then when we made a switch, it was no longer being covered, but we dealt directly then with our brokers and our representatives, and they cleared that up because it was previously accepted and allowed. Is that what you're saying you would do?
That is exactly what we will do, yes.
So this would be basically the relationship between our retirees, the borough, and you. In the event something got denied, we would then bring it to your attention and say, hey, this says equal to or better than, now you're reducing that equal to or better than, you need to make good on this.
Right.
Okay.
So I also just want to make sure that you understand this with the provider community, and there's a letter in here or flyer that you can share with your physicians about how the program works. But the state of New Jersey adopted this program some 6-7 years ago. So there's hundreds of thousands of retirees under the state of New Jersey program. It is not a foreign plan to the physician and hospital community. They are very well aware of it.
And that's why you're able to offer only that 1% increase versus the double-digit
Right,
increase,
so-
because it's a larger network
Yeah,
of people.
exactly. But it's also, you have to understand, Aetna is a very large company. They are the largest carrier offering Medicare, group Medicare Advantage programs. And so they have a risk pool that not only includes here in New Jersey, but the entire nation.
Understood.
And so we're able to use that umbrella to help us keep rates down here for the borough.
Was that experiency rating, basically? Is that what you're referencing?
I don't know, Brandon, to refer to this.
Sorry, what was the question?
Are you saying with that risk factor, is that like experiency ratings or things like that, sort of, or no?
Yeah, and the advantage, the pricing advantage comes from actually Aetna receives subsidies from CMS, from Medicare to actually provide this program. So where we are absorbing the risk, Aetna is actually receiving incentives to really manage the plan and act as Medicare. So they're actually able to offer lower premiums to the borough than the members are actually utilizing.
Okay, sorry to get into the weeds with that,
No, it's a
but
good
I'm
question.
just trying to get a little bit more involved in that healthcare breakdown, because I do know the risk for the borough when it comes to not using a plan like working with you, and what that cost and increase would be with just dealing with the private company.
And the Mr. HIF, which is the entity above the Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund, which represents all the health insurance funds, not to get too technical, is actually negotiating this plan based on 10,000 retirees. So we've actually negotiated a 3-year deal with Aetna, which has a 2% rate cap for the next 2 years. So we're very confident in the pricing. And we've had this plan in existence for 10 years now in the Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund. So, and throughout the state of New Jersey. And we've managed to keep the rates very low, for one, and two, still offer this rich level of benefits. And because we've implemented so many of these plans, we're familiar with some of the concerns. And Aetna is your current supplemental coverage. Your current coverage for these retirees is with Aetna. So they've actually offered to make outreach to all those Medicare providers that Tom referenced and explain how this plan works. Because Medicare Advantage on the individual market is very different than this plan. This plan is, you can't get on the individual market. When we built this plan in 2011, we built it for all of the entities across New Jersey that were currently in the health insurance funds, and we had to offer that guarantee of equal to or better than, and we've never been challenged in the state. So, and that's why everything's covered at 100%, because each individual entity had their own different co-pays, deductibles. So in order to access, offer it to everyone across the state, we just said there are no out-of-pocket expenses.
Is it an option for individuals to opt out and pay the double-digit increase instead?
So individuals can opt out of Medicare Advantage, and stay on Medicare traditional, but it would be up to the borough how they handle the secondary piece. You know, that would be a borough decision. But there would be different rates for the two different entities.
So in your experience, after giving these proposals, pitches to different municipalities, has any retiree, as Councilwoman Marr suggested, opt out of this program?
Yeah. We've never had anyone opt out, no.
Thank you. Okay.
So at this point then, if there's no other, are there any questions or comments yet from the council?
This is just for, this was just an informational
information
presentation. We have another meeting set for next Tuesday with some members of the retirees who've shown an interest, and which they'll be discussing more about this. And then after that meeting, we'll discuss how to come back or to present or whatever to back to the council. Council does have to approve this.
Okay.
How many towns currently are using this program?
You say 60?
I said 60. It's all of our municipalities. I mean, I can give you an exact number. If you want references, I can provide that as well.
None in Middlesex County yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
If they're in a state health benefit program.
Yeah, that's true, too.
They would have it, yes.
I've never seen a program where you're told everybody will take it, but then if they don't, we'll just have them call for doctors. Where is the list of every doctor that says they're going to take this?
So so the list you're referring to is actually available on Medicare's website. The plan will pay like Medicare pays. Now I understand what you're saying. They might not accept it, but the plan's going to pay exactly what if they accept Medicare assignment, they're going to receive the exact amount of payment that they received today.
And if they say no, they're not going to accept it.
Well, then we assist by having Aetna do an outreach and educate the provider.
So actually what we're doing is helping you bring more doctors into your network.
It's not a network, and I also don't work for Aetna, but it's not a network. This is Medicare's network.
And maybe it just should not be up to the employees to, try to bring their doctors.
And if the doctor says no, then what?
Well, the claim can still be processed because they're a Medicare provider. And what you're suggesting has happened, right? Providers need education because it's not the individual plan. But Aetna's been very proactive and assist. And also with the state moving, as Tom mentioned, providers are more familiar with the plan. Is it always seamless? No, but there are, we've put in steps and procedures in place to assist with the advocacy of the membership and help educate the providers.
Because I personally have had tests that my doctors wanted, that I have had signed forms saying that Medicare is not going to pay for it, but Aetna has picked it up. The way I read this, if it's not a qualifying treatment and or test that Medicare covers for a certain individual, then it's not covered. That's the way I read it.
So we've run into that, and I know this isn't meant for a debate, but we've run into this in the past, right? And we've actually enhanced the plan. There's actually a whole section in this plan design that covers the different procedures that the plan covers that Medicare does not cover. So there's enhanced chiropractic. Medicare has very strict rules about chiropractic coverage. This plan expands upon those, and Aetna pays for them out of pocket. Acupuncture, now covered by Medicare, covered under here at 100%. So we've actually, through our equal to or better than exchanges, we've enhanced the plan for purposes just as you mentioned there. Certain things CMS does not cover that your secondary plan does. As Tom mentioned, this plan is Medicare and the secondary provider come into one. And we've added what they're called riders to bring it up to where your secondary plan would have filled the gap that Medicare may have denied.
So at this point, gentlemen, unless there's additional questions, I think that it's best that we take this as a council and digest the information that was just disseminated out to us. Now, you have follow-up meetings for employees, as you said, or the retirees.
We have a couple of, we have one meeting set up for next Tuesday morning for some of the active retirees, which will go over some of the things again. And any questions that they have, or any council member, if you want to attend, you're more than welcome to attend, as long as there's not more than 3. And we'll see if we can make people more comfortable with what the situation is. My only point to you is from from a marketing point of view, I would change the name from Medicare Advantage to something else.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
just because the person, even at home, would be watching it and seeing, I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson advertising that here it is, or something like
Guilty
that.
by association.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
so that's all.
difficult to split the
That's it.
two apart.
Okay, thank you.
No, fair.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
you for your
Appreciate it
time.
very much. Have a good evening. Okay. So that is going to bring us to old business. I believe we have public hearing on at least 2 ordinances. Jessica?
Public hearing on bond ordinance number 545-21, bond ordinance providing for the remediation of soil and groundwater at the former First Aid Squad site in, by, and for the Borough of Servo, New Jersey, appropriating $250,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $235,000 bonds or notes of the Borough for financing part of such appropriation.
At this time, I will open to the public for any and all comments regarding bond ordinance number 545-21. If you wish to speak, please step up to the microphone. State your name and address, please, for the record. Seeing no comments for that bond ordinance, I'll entertain a motion, Councilwoman, to close the public portion and move the bond ordinance forward. Councilwoman
That we
Roberts.
close the public portion?
And
And, I'm sorry, the hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 546-21, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2021 to 2025 as commensurated in the PBA Local Number 98 bargaining agreement.
At this time, I'll open again to the public for any and all comments relating to this ordinance. Please step up and state your name and address for the record. And seeing none, I will once again entertain a motion from Councilwoman Roberts, please.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Okay, at this point then, just prior to going to new business, I don't believe we have any appointments, but we did have a little bit of a stutter start in the beginning of our meeting, so I had hoped to just make 2 comments before we move further into the agenda. First, Election Day has ended. I know that it was crazy, and I just want to say to both the gentlemen on my right and left that it was a fabulous campaign, and it has been a complete honor to serve with you both up here. And I know we have a couple of meetings left together, that good things will continue to happen, but the town of Servo has benefited from having you both up here. And it will be very bizarre and odd every time we have those changes, when you get used to hearing certain voices. But I would just like to say thank you for your support of me as mayor. And I know that no matter where you end up going, you're not going to be too far from this dais. And I hope that you will still continue to come here and make some noise and keep working on the projects that you've started as well. And I would also like to say in our audience, we do have our newest council people here. We have both Eunice and Christian, and I'd like to say congratulations to you both. And I look forward very much to working with you as well. And I know that you have wonderful plans in store for Servo, and I think that as a community, this is a little bit of a historic moment. I asked Jess how long it's been since there was that split council that they talk about. We don't quite know how long ago that was. Mary, you might know, because I feel like you know, has it been close? So we're going back a little while, but I do think that this is the beginning of more progress, moving forward, and building Saraville back stronger. So I look forward to your ideas as well. So thank you for coming this evening, and get ready. It gets busy, but thank you for putting your names out there and for wanting to make a change in Saraville. So we are here for you. And one more thing, Councilwoman Roberts and I did have a conversation just a couple of days ago, and I wanted to say this before we move to our committees, because people have a tendency to leave after the first meeting. This is something that I had been wanting to do prior to COVID, started to get it forward, and then Councilwoman Roberts you contacted Dan about this great initiative. I'm going to toss it over to you, just to let the people know some of the ideas that you already have, and I think we can make happen together.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, one of the things that I've always had in mind for council is get more people understanding what I just read to adopt the ordinances and how we talked about them and when they come up. Just the whole process around it seems foreign. And just to get more young people involved in the process, we are going to start a bipartisan internship. We have some Leos who are interested in joining us to learn just that. Our borough administrator, Dan Frankel, has graciously offered his time to bring in the interns to see how an ordinance is created. And we'd like to have a 4 to 6 week, I think we were talking about prototype, to bring in those high school students to see an ordinance end to end, how we talk about it in the public, and hopefully they'll learn enough so they'll be able to tell other people how our process works and really get more involvement from the public, which is the outreach I think we all want up here. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to work. I hope every other council member would participate in that also, because I think once we're here, we work for everyone in Servo.
We do.
So that's how we should approach it.
Thank you, Donna, and I really think it's a great idea. As young people teaching, that is really what we're here. It'd be nice to actually have the pews here kind of filled with people and actually stick around, and not when we say adjourn after the first meeting, everyone beats it out the door. So I think we're moving forward already and exciting. Thank you for letting me interrupt part of that agenda. It is new business, but now we're going to move over to our last two ordinances. Jessica.
Bond ordinance number 547-21, capital ordinance, providing for the acquisition of a Tahoe truck buy-in for the Borough of Servo in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey.
This is also going over to Councilwoman Roberts yet again for the introduction of that ordinance.
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on November 22nd.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 548-21, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2021 to 2025, as commensurated in the PBA Local 98 bargaining agreement.
Okay, and that is one more time going over to Councilwoman Roberts.
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on November 22nd.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to move over to consent agenda resolutions. If anybody from the public has any questions or comments on consent agenda resolutions, now is the time to step forward and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept, to close the public and accept consent agenda resolution
I
item.
move the consent agenda communications be received on roll call vote. I'm sorry, I closed the public portion and then moved the consent agenda communications be received on roll call vote.
You want to do it again, Kev, one more time?
Yeah, one more time. Sorry. I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
I like it that time. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez. Mar.
One question, who's the Bayer Ford for? 286.
The Bear Ford, yeah.
I believe that's the first truck for the fire department. Yeah.
Thank you, yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, and now we do have one resolution to be read in full.
Yes, Mayor, this is Resolution 2021-297, a resolution of the Borough of Sayreville and the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, consenting to the memorandum of agreement between the Borough of Sayreville and PBA Local 98, whereas there now exists a memorandum of agreement between the Borough of Sayreville and PBA Local 98, whereas representatives PBA Local 98 and the Borough of Sayreville have agreed to certain modifications to the present collective bargain agreement. Now therefore be resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Sayreville and State of New Jersey hereby consent to the execution of the memorandum agreement between PBA Local 98 captains and the Borough of Sayreville.
At this time, I'll open to the public for any and all comments regarding this resolution. Please step forward if you wish to speak. Seeing none at this time, I will entertain a motion, close the public, and accept the resolution.
Make a motion to close the public portion and accept the resolution on roll call vote.
And roll call.
Councilpersons Delina,
100% yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar, Novak, Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move over to our borough attorney once again.
No report, Mayor.
Wonderful. Public portion then, please limit your comments just to 5 minutes, please, so we actually have some people in the audience. Young lady, please. Good evening.
Good evening, Taylor Bernowski, 71 Pulaski Ave. Great, I just wanted to have a follow-up to my previous kind of couple conversations. The first, I would like to thank Sergeant Braille. After the previous meeting, he actually came to my house and discussed the speeding issue and then also the signs. I just wanted to follow up and see if there was any update on the signs between Pine Tree and Spruce. I know the permit signs are actually on Locust. I didn't realize that, but there are 2 permit signs that are still there.
I did see that.
So I just wanted to see if there was any update to that. And second, over the summer, in regards to the senior center, we had talked about installing air purification within the hall. I was just there last week to vote, and I noticed they weren't there, so I wanted to see if there was an update for the air purification towers.
Thank you, Taylor. I was there also to vote as well, and I was scouring every second and nook and cranny of it. Vince, do you have any more from Sergeant Braille on those, on the signs? I know you had brought it to his attention, I believe. It was the ones that were over in Laurel Park, and yeah, I did see the ones on Locust. I'm glad that he went and visited you as well.
Yes.
In reference to some of that speeding.
I did not ask him to check for signs.
It was those permit signs, remember, because we used to have them there where it was restricted parking, and it's that one turn up Pine Tree where the bus,
I didn't ask him about the signs, though,
yeah,
so I can.
yeah, send that back to
Yeah,
him. I
so they're
thought,
still on Locust, but there's not between like the Spruce and Pine Tree. On Pine Tree, as soon as you go up the hill there on the right-hand side, they were taken down.
yeah, and I even got out of the car, people must have thought I was nuts, because I was actually looking to see if there was any remnants of the poles, if they were cut or pulled, and I couldn't even find anything cut down or not, so, again, it's like the mystery of Servo, where the sign's gone.
Yes.
So, yeah, double check with them on that.
Well,
I will say the sign out here now, the speed limit check sign, is really quite impressive, because now we have the added effect of the lights directly in your face, and it scared me a little bit. I was doing, I think, 31, and my lord, that is definitely eye-catching if you haven't driven past there and you hit that 31 mile per hour. If you're not slowing down because of that, those are phenomenal. So I'm a big fan.
it's red and blue and.
Red and blue, I thought there was a police officer, someone like, what did I do? What? But it was just 31, it registered at 31. So.
And people reminded me if they're flashing, that means I'm going too fast.
Exactly.
So
Yep, it was very effective. Dan, do we have anything on the purifiers?
I have to check with our head of buildings because he's been out on vacation for 2 weeks. I thought they were ordered, but I'll check and make sure.
Okay,
Thanks, Taylor.
thank you.
Have a good evening. Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Art, do you want to come first, or you want Karen?
I'll go first.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Karen, I tried.
I can take that time, no. Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delacate Lane, Servo, New Jersey. Just a real quick thank you to Damon and Kevin for your service. Keep up doing things, and congratulations to Eunice and Christian. I wasn't going to get up and say anything today, but I happened to see Mr. DuPont in the hallway. And you know, I come up and I ask about the Mako property and the $95,000 fine. And their attorney was here on several occasions, so he knows my interest in it. But we found out that that was settled back in September and reduced to a $25,000 fine, because it goes through zoning when it goes to court. Now, zoning never gave us the courtesy to even tell us or let us know that that was happening.
Yeah, if I might, so I had the opportunity to speak to Art because he approached me during the meeting. And Mr. Lair reached out to me after the last meeting, and I hadn't heard from him in quite some time because his mother had passed and he was sitting shivers. He advised me that the court did have a hearing. It did have testimony from the prosecutor and the zoning officer, and after hearing the various presentations and arguments from counsel, there was an order entered. I told Mr. Rittenhouse that I would certainly provide it to him because I just received it myself last week. So I have no objections to providing that to him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But it's very frustrating that some of these boards can either reduce a fine like that or make an exemption that trees are being cut down, and we have so much going on in town now. And I've had a lot of calls as chairman of Shade Tree as to what's happening with all the trees. And, you know, I don't know, and I've got to now check with each board to see if they're making those exemptions or if the council is making those exemptions. So I think it's something we have to look at. Everybody's talking about a green society, and we're just getting rid of all of the green, and we're not doing anything to deter builders or homeowners or anything like that. The other one, real quick.
While we're on that subject,
Yes.
I saw the issue come up, the question come up again, the Shade Tree Commission.
Yes.
The money that the fund has, how is it spent, and why is more not being spent?
There's two ways it can be spent. One, the chief financial officer also has authority to spend that money. That's Denise. Or if we get a request, we can approve something. You know, so we've done that in emergencies. We've approved trees being taken down that were a danger to somebody's house or something like that. The Parks Department, the trees that were removed at Kennedy Park, that all came out of that money because they were diseased all along the parking lot there. And we also purchased new trees to replace those, but different items like that.
And how recent were those purchases?
Within the last year, correct, Denise? Right. Denise can provide, or I can provide you with a list of what things have been spent from there.
Do you have any ideas for the future of how to spend it?
Well, one is the community garden. We had already committed to providing trees there that'll either provide shade or fruit or something like that, whatever the Environmental Commission decides to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, Art, it's been a long time since I've been on the Shade Tree Commission. It's been a number of years. You are usually very proactive in that group. Maybe we can do similar to like the master plans that we have regarding other infrastructure in town. Maybe it's time to start coming up with like a yearly plan or almost like a master plan for regrowth or replantings, especially since we know that money is there. And I agree, so that way, each year we can anticipate and the community can anticipate what Shade Tree's projects will be for that year, and we can start actually reforesting a little bit more. So maybe that's something we can move
I have a
forward to.
meeting next week. I'll bring that up and we'll go over that.
Yeah, that might be a good, and, push it out a couple of years, but at least that way we can target specific areas, especially where there is going to be redevelopment, or we know that it's an area that has already been cleared. Let's be proactive and start planning ahead with that. It might work.
And my last item is just a comment on the election. Jessica and Nicole, I know, did a great job, but there were things beyond their control, and I think it's something that both parties have to look at. Middlesex County Clerk did not produce provisional ballots until they were told the day of the election that the machines weren't working. So we had voters, Republicans, Democrats, unaffiliated, who went and could not vote and could not get back in time to vote. They printed the ballots on election day morning and started at noon to pass them out to the towns in alphabetical order, which puts us way down on the bottom of that list. And then they didn't leave them at the voting places. I was at the Knights of Columbus. I happened to stop there 4 times, and 4 times there was a problem with a voter. 2 of the times I was able to help that voter get to vote. The other 2, the people walked out. One lady walked out in tears. The voter lists were not accurate. So this is something that we have to relay to the clerk's office and to the Board of Elections. It's not a good situation for any of us, for the voters in town. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Art. Okay, and Karen, we up to you now.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members and professionals. I just wanted to say as well, thank you so much to Mr. Delina and Mr. Enriquez, and congratulations to Eunice and Christian on this challenge and they're about to walk into. Thank all of you for everything that you do. It is not an easy job. I am just here on behalf of Servo Cares to say thank you to everyone for being so supportive. We had a great event on October 23rd. We were joined by the ROTC, we were joined by the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts. It was an amazing event, and of course Elise, she was amazing. She had the goodie mobile. She had it all. So, you know, it was just wonderful. So we had agreed to, we're gonna do this twice a year with her. She thanked me for inspiring her to do this, and we were just more than happy to help her coordinate the groups together, and we're all better together as we know this. So the other thing I was here about is just an update on the TNR, which I had spoke to you, Mayor, and Mr. DuPont on the way in, so I didn't know if you wanted me to handle that right here, or if
No,
you...
I can handle it. I know that
Certainly.
you've sent me a package that I've
Yes.
reviewed thoroughly. I know that you and I think your colleague, are going to have a meeting next week to go over some of the good prospects regarding an ordinance, good paragraphs, bad paragraphs. I know that you had indicated in our earlier conversation out in the hallway that you're doing everything to offset any cost. And you did relay some of the conversations that you had regarding trapping because of the cold or not the cold. So, you know, I'm looking forward to our meeting next week.
Okay, so then we'll leave it at that and meet next week. Yeah, we definitely want to give you an update. It just doesn't stop. Last week I ran 9 up for Denise. This is Denise Morgan by my side here, and I try to stay by her side. It is an enormous task with the amount of feral cats that we have running around our neighborhoods. She constantly is getting calls. She's got a Facebook group set up and a volunteer page. We're working with CASA, who is a 501c3 in Servo. We focus on cerebral cats. So we are trying as best as we can by fundraising and such to keep the burden off the borough and the taxpayers here. And to, again, we had discussed about people being liable, some of the concerns that people had brought up, whether it's council members or professionals, but even in that contract alone, I see there was 2 hold harmless agreements cited to between the borough and the borough contract and AHS. So they, you know, it's a frequent term. So I'm just excited we are to get things moving along and to try to get some of this under control, because the cats unfortunately don't have a clock, a reproductive clock that you can turn on and off during certain seasons, and we are being told by the AHS that you cannot trap during the cold. Well, this week it's gonna be 60 degrees, so you know what, we're doing it. And there's a problem because we don't know if that's part of the contract, to me, speaks that it involves their traps. So if it doesn't involve their traps, like when you have rescues in towns, then how does it all come to play? And I think there's just other things that we had discussed that needs to be looked at, and because the problem certainly is not stopping, and despite the weather, we're doing it. So, and thank God for people, for animals. Anyway,
Thanks,
thank you guys.
Karen.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much. Thanks, also Denise, it's good to see you. I know that this is one of your passions. I'm glad that you're here. I was thinking of you, and I really appreciate that, and I know I'll say it for you. Hay is better than blankets, right? Well, hay is for horses, straw is for cats. There you go. I'm there, straw. Hay is for horses, straw. And thank you. It's gonna take a while, but you have the best of borough attorneys to help you guys work through this. And thank you for your work with that.
Mayor, you know what, I'm going to walk out and talk.
Until,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
know you guys, this portion is ending, but if
Yeah.
you don't mind, I'm just going to talk.
absolutely. So we will send him to you again. Thank you very much. Anybody else from the audience that wishes to speak on any and all issues? Now's your time.
Mayor, I have one thing.
Yes.
And that is, I was writing down Mr. Rittenhouse's documents, and I forgot to remind Councilwoman Novak, that she should not be permitted to vote on 546 and 548 just because family members may or may not be involved. So what I'd like to do, if it be permissible, is to have a motion to vacate the passage of the ordinance 54621, and then redo that one, and the same thing as 54821, and I apologize, Councilwoman Novak, because I made a notation, but I was making sure that Mr. Rittenhouse gets his documents.
After I said it.
So at this time,
You're number 3.
Make a motion to vacate.
So at this
ordinance
time, yes,
number
I need a motion.
54621.
okay, do you need to hear that one more time?
Well, let's close the public portion.
Close the
Sorry,
public portion.
I make a,
No, because you're still you're gonna vacate it, then you're gonna reopen, then you're gonna do the public portion, so you're gonna,
No, but I'm talking about the regular.
no, I don't wanna do that yet. I wanna do a motion to vacate ordinance 54621.
So,
make a motion to vacate ordinance 54621.
Second.
okay, we have a roll call for that.
Right, need a roll call.
Sorry.
Delina.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I.
And then,
Roberts. No, we gotta.
We're voting to
We have-
vacate it.
Voting to vacate it.
now,
I can vote on that.
right, now you
Now I
are,
shut my mouth.
now you are doing it as if we never had that vote. So it's
Reintroduce.
an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain borough officials and officers and employees for the years 2021 and 2025 as commensurate in the PBA Local 98 bargaining agreement, ordinance 54621. So the mayor is going to now open it up to the public.
So I'll open up to the public for any and all comments regarding the ordinance stated. Seeing no comments at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion and adopt.
That would be done.
Councilwoman Roberts.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law. I'm sorry. No, this is the 54621.
This is 54621. This is
Introduction.
adoption.
No, whole business.
This is adoption.
Adoption.
It is the adoption.
Adoption,
Okay, I
yeah.
read it the right way.
right.
I was right.
Second.
You were right, and he seconded.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Abstain.
Now, now we're doing the same thing for 54821, and this is an ordinance, fix the salary, this is just for introduction, just introduction. So we need a motion to vacate the introduced ordinance.
I make a motion to vacate the introduced ordinance 54821.
Roll call. Councilpersons Delina.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Now,
Now we will, and we do not have to open to the public, so now I am going to turn over to Councilwoman Roberts
introduction.
for introduction of the following ordinance.
And I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on November 22nd.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar. Novak.
Abstain.
So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion to close the public.
I make a
portion
motion to
and
close the
adjourn.
public portion and to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Now we'll start our next meeting, but I will say, Councilwoman Roberts, this will be the first thing we talk about during that bipartisan meeting about adoption and introduction of ordinances.
And the extra added bonus of abstaining and
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to move into our next meeting. Please rise again for a salute to our flag. Yes, we did. We did it all as one. Okay? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Statement of publication, please, Jessica.
Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 8th day of November 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti.
Here.
Delina.
Here.
Enriquez.
Yep.
Mar. Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
here.
Ladies and gentlemen, any comments or questions from the council regarding the bond ordinance and the ordinances mentioned prior? Wonderful. We are going to move straight on now to communication and committee reports, beginning with administration and finance. Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have no minutes and departmental reports today. I do have application for bingo raffle license for the Coalition of Advocates for Shelter Animals.
Second.
And a license renewal for barber and beauty shops, motels, temporary trailers, and junkyards. Okay. I just want to ask about traffic on Middlesex. I was surprised to hear someone give me information, not Middlesex going down to the Hercules site, but the residential site. Someone had told me that there are trucks coming through there at night, and I found that to be unusual, but that's what they were telling me. There is a sign there that there shouldn't be 4 tons over there, but they said they live there and they reported it. I just was wondering if anyone else had known that, or if we can take a look at.
It's close to you and to me. I would be impressed.
They're not supposed to be on the street, but I haven't heard any complaints, but turn it over to, traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can
check
give
it
you
out.
the name of the people that reported it to me, so that
I
you
would be
can get that.
quite impressed if a truck can even navigate up
I
there,
can,
because
some of the cars parked, I can't get there.
on
so-
both sides, it's a steep incline, and, coming down is
Blind hill, you
Yeah.
can't see.
absolutely. So, yeah, have that checked out. I haven't heard anything personally, but
But since
it
someone
wouldn't
did report
surprise
it
me.
to me, I did want to mention it and bring that over. And I just want to say, I attended the car show at St. Stan's, and it was a wonderful time, beautiful day until the sun went down, it got
Yeah,
cold.
it got cold.
And there's also the veterans at St. Stan's this morning. Mary and I attended that. That was a very nice service. And of course, don't forget that we have Thursday's veterans event here at 11 o'clock. And I think that's what I have for today. Thank you very much. I'm very excited about the internships, though.
Me too. Very excited about that. Young people, it's just exciting to have them come forward and be a part of this. Planning and zoning, Councilwoman Marr, please.
Good evening, Mayor. I have no minutes or departmental reports to submit. For committee reports, I also heard great things about the St. Stan's Car Show and Trick or Trunk, but also they're doing a Veterans Day flag display based on donations to repave their playgrounds, and it's a beautiful display that I've seen on social media, and I'm excited to go over and see it in person. Community garden, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We unfortunately had our fencing stolen.
I can't believe that.
So it's not cheap. We made a police report. We were able to put up new fencing, but this project has gone through its ups and downs. But on the positive side, we will have a Facebook page coming soon and a Google form to reserve your garden box. And, we're really excited for the spring to work with the Shade Tree Commission. So it's coming along, slowly but surely it's coming along, but I definitely think it's something exciting for our seniors and for our school communities. St. Stan's OLV can easily walk to it for field trips. But just to also bring life back to MacArthur Ave.
Yeah, it was really great initiative. And that was from Sustain New Jersey that grant came from. I know there was apparently some hubbub about it coming from other grants and other things, but that was
Fully funded, no match grant.
no matching grant, didn't come from other types of county funds or anything. And we were able to attend virtually to receive that. I remember it was a great time.
Yes.
Well done. Anything else, Councilwoman
That's it,
Moore?
progress.
Great work. Public safety, Councilman Conti.
All right, thanks, Mayor. No minutes or departmental reports to report on today. Just a few things as far as updates or information. I do want to congratulate the Sayreville Junior Bombers 14U football team. They reached the championship game yesterday. Lost a close one, but they fought valiantly and really came a long way this year. So I was very happy to hear that about our 14U team. Let's see, a couple other things too. So I wanted to thank Jim, Kenny, and Chuck at the fire department for their invitation and hospitality this weekend at the testimonial dinner for former Chief McGaw. I wanted to also publicly thank Chief McGaugh for his dedication and service to our town. Had a great time celebrating with those guys, so thank you very much. I met with we did receive that letter from the resident over at Spinnaker Point. I went out to see her the other day. Saw a few other people while I was there, and we did talk. I think I was going to follow with you, Kevin, to see if we can get some more people out there and repair some of their driveways. Just because for 55 and older, I think it's just accidents waiting to happen there. So they were delighted to hear that we were giving them attention there and thought it was a good idea. I know we're not paving the roads anytime soon over there, but I know Jay was going to look into that, and I think he had something on the agenda for the upcoming year, perhaps. But in the meantime, if we can get out there and repair, I think it'll be okay until we decide to do something with the roads. Last thing was, so also a couple of weeks ago, Councilman Delina mentioned about using some of the American Rescue Act money for our version of hazard pay for the borough employees. And I know we were looking into that, or we were going to take that away and see what we could do with that. I know we're struggling to figure out what to do with the money. I know Trenton did that for their employees, and I wanted to follow up to see if that was something we could do for our employees as well, see if we had any more information on that. I know Mr. DuPont left the room. I don't know if Mr. Frankel perhaps has any info or could give us some hope for that.
I know we're not Trenton, so that's number one. Number two, we've been trying to work, I'm in touch with a consultant who does consulting for these rescue acts. I'm hoping to get a meeting with him in the next week to 10 days. I even explained to him about our idea of spending money in this room to make a hybrid, and he wasn't so thrilled about our being thrilled, but and then we had a meeting before this meeting with the Water and Sewer Committee, and we went through some projects with that. I think Water and Sewer and probably Finance are going to have to talk to each other a little bit here, because there's some coming down the pike is going to be some tremendous programs that we're going to need to do in Water and Sewer, and we don't have the money.
And Dan, did we ever audit the salaries of our employees to make sure they were comparable with other towns?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you...
Did we ever audit our employees' salaries to make sure they were comparable with other towns? We discussed that once.
I did not audit other towns and their salaries, what they're making. No, I did not. So I'll take the advice of council, whatever council would like to do. Whichever is your pleasure, as far as, dedicating some of the $5.9 million. But there are a lot of projects that we are going to need. And after talking to our borough engineer and talking to Water and Sewer, and Mary will probably go over in her report, there are projects that we have to, if we're going to get other monies that are coming in with President Biden's new program of infrastructure, there might be a way where we could use some of this American Rescue money to make plans easily available and ready, so they're shovel ready. So it's sort of, you take that money and you put it to good use, so it's shovel ready. So when these projects come up with other monies, we're ready to go. So I think it's up to the council of what you want to do, but I think Water and Sewer Committee and probably Finance Committee is going to have to talk together a little bit.
Sounds like there needs to, the committees need to speak to one another, obviously, communicate. Right. But I think from a council perspective, $5.9 million is going to go very fast. I know it sounds like a lot to an average household, but when it comes to municipal land, seriously, it's like pulling a 20 out of your wallet. It's going to go very, very fast. So I really think we need to be smart. We need to look at ways to make that $5.9 million actually maybe generate some revenue for us. So if we're putting money out, we're actually receiving money in or back from it. So we want to make these projects something that is going to generate something for us. It would be nice to see the committees come together, to almost come up with their own budgets in a way of saying, if we spent this much money here, we could receive this much money back and get the most bang out of our buck for our taxpayers and for our town. But I don't think we can turn around and just say, we want to spend here, do this, until we have something that's more comprehensive put before us. A little spreadsheet, a little flow chart, and we can make some decisions very, very informed and knowledgeable. And I do agree with you that the infrastructural plan and monies that Biden is looking at when it comes to the country and the state of New Jersey, we're going to really have to wrap our brains around there, because when I think of infrastructure, I don't think there's one town out there that could use more infrastructure than Servo, although others will argue that. We're gonna have to really fight hard to make our projects that shovel-ready, so that we can turn around and say, we're ready to go, that town isn't. I know that's how we get money here first, because that's usually the stipulation put on any type of grant money. We need to have shovel-ready projects, correct, Jay? Right, so we're gonna have to really move and put our, our feet to the pedal here. So can we get those committees to try and communicate as soon as possible, and then come together so we can start making decisions? Okay, directions?
I just wanted to ask things about something else.
Yeah, go ahead.
The crossing guard at OLB has been asking for quite a while for a sign like down at, on Ernston Road that flashes and stuff, because it's just so dangerous, particularly in the morning. And then, of course, with CCD,
CCD,
in
yeah.
the evenings, it's dark out.
And that's just a
Very,
straight
very
strip
dangerous.
right there, too.
Yeah, and people, we've already had a terrible almost.
Is there a crosswalk on that where they cross? So just need a sign,
And this is just a regular crosswalk sign, if you really,
but like a flashing.
the flashing one, to really draw somebody's attention, like they put in down on Erskine Road.
Yeah.
So, they could, because I mean, those things don't even require electric now, they work all on solar, so.
And the lighting's not great there, Mayor, we know that, the light, it's terrible, so.
Let me send a note.
Anything else, Councilman Conti?
Oh, that's it, thank you.
Very good, thank you very much. Recreation, Councilman Enriquez, please.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, I have no minutes or departmental reports, and I do have a letter of resignation received from Favor King as a member of the Human Relations Commission effective October 18th, 2021.
Is there a second for that? Second.
Okay, I just have two things for committee reports. We do have our parade of lights on December 5th for the holidays, so everybody come out, get your walking shoes on. And we also have our toy drive on December 10th. We started accepting donations. They could be dropped off at the Sayville Rec Center, Mickey Sedlak building. And progress, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Councilman. What time, December 10th, toy drive, they can start dropping off when?
Well, they could start dropping off the toys now, or any donations, monetary, anything, we'll accept anything, and the 10th, we will start, the distribution, times will be forthcoming, they'll probably spread it out again over a long course of the day.
They do a great job every year, huge, thank you, thank you. Water and Sewer and Environmental, Councilman Novak, please.
Yes, good departmental reports. We did have a committee meeting prior to this. The mayor alluded to this. We have an awful lot of, an awful lot of new mandates and that are coming down the pipe for us. It's going to require labor intensive. It's going to be a lot of money. We also have water meters that by ordinance is supposed to be checked and replaced every so many years. We're looking at, starting kind of like fire and do again every year, so it isn't one great big expense, trying to replace the meters at different times all the way around. But, and we also have, we're looking at, some of our old water lines that, some of them were originally for Amboy water that we, kind of inherited. These lines are over 100 years old. Some of the lines on Bordentown Avenue and Jersey Road can't withstand the pressure that our pumps, we actually have pumps that at the pumping station we can't use because it would overcharge the system and cause the system to fail. So we're looking at replacing, and not really replacing, we're looking at putting in new lines to bypass some of those old lines, abandoning the old lines. So we're looking at, and So we don't know exactly what it is going to be yet. It'll be at the first meeting at the next meeting. We'll see that and have 2 weeks to discuss that. It may be multiple year contract. It may just be for 1 year, depending on what we foresee in the future and how settled we are on what that's going to be. I don't want to get too much in the multiple year and then find out it's not going to be enough or it's too much. But it may be a multiple year, maybe. I just wanted everybody to be aware of all these things that are coming down the pipe. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Novak. Public Works, Council President Delina.
Thank you, Mayor. There's a letter of, I have no minutes or departmental reports. There's a letter of resignation received from Mike McEnone as a member of the Shade Tree Commission, effective immediately. Other than that, progress.
Thank you very much. I have no additional comments. I think we took care of everything I had to say, although I am happy St. Stan's finally got their car show and their trick or trunk in. I was good for 2 of the dates, but the last one, it didn't work. I could not get there, but great job. Business Administrators Report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to execute a discharge of mortgage for property located at 8 Lily Street. Review and approval of 2022 council meeting schedule. Authorization to renew Reliance Insurance Group LLC, Division of Acrisure, as our insurance broker for health services for the year 2022. Recommendation received from Open Space Committee to offer the property located at Block 215, Lot 32, Smith Street for sale. Authorizing the renewal of a contract for animal control services with the Associated Humane Society and the Borough for January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022.
Hey, Dan, do we need to look at that and incorporate what we're doing with the cats before we renew it?
That's what Mike was, he said no, that we didn't.
Mike said no.
No?
Right.
Mike said no.
No. Our attorney said no. I mean,
Well, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
and he's a cat lover. So,
Okay, that's all that I need.
They're going to work on that language, Vince, in order to make sure that the terms are negotiated, right? Yeah, good question.
authorization to execute the renewal of an interlocal services contract with the County of Middlesex for the provision of public health services in the amount of $187,826.60 for the year 2022. Authorization to appoint Carol Womack from part-time clerk 1 to full-time clerk 1 in the Police Department effective November 16, 2021. Authorization for the Community Outreach and Police Special Services Unit to erect 3 semi-permanent signs which would be updated multiple times with community events or other relevant police community information. Authorization to award a contract for electrical work and repairs as needed to Sal Electric Incorporated of Jersey City, New Jersey, for their low bid price of $83,750. Authorization to award a contract for gasoline and diesel fuel to Rachel's Michelle Oil Company through New Jersey State Contract T0083 in an amount not to exceed $365,000. Authorization to amend ordinance to only allow for 2 garbage cans per household. Authorization for the recycling coordinator to submit a grant application for the 2022 Recycling Enhancement Grant through Middlesex County. Authorization to appoint David Falke as part-time custodian in the Senior Center, effective December 1st, 2021. Authorization to appoint Ryan Erickson as Laborer 1 in the Parks Department, effective January 3rd, 2022. Authorization to appoint Jennifer Bessler to part-time Clerk 1 in the Office of Aging, effective November 16th, 2021. Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract for the furnishing of water filtration membranes to Film Tech Corp. in an amount not to exceed $410,300. Authorization to purchase pump station equipment from Municipal Maintenance Company of Cinnaminster, New Jersey through Passaic Valley Storage Commission Cooperative Purchasing Program, contract PVSCB 279-4, in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Are we thinking, Dan, those 2 might be able to go through the American Rescue Fund? Is there water?
Their maintenance, and I don't know. There's plenty of money, there's plenty of projects that are much more than that.
That's 2 for you, Vince, that you're trying to, I like the way you think. CFO's report, Ms. Biancamano, please.
Budget transfer resolution and authorization to cancel outstanding checks and authorization to cancel old outstanding capital ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Borough Engineer, anything today?
No report, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Borough Attorney, he's still working over there. I don't think he had anything on his report, though. Do we have a need for executive
Yes.
session? Yeah, again, we do. We'll do the public portion first, and then we'll go into exec once we have Mike back. At this time, I'll open to the public for any and all comments or statements. If you wish to speak, please come to the microphone. State your name and address for the record. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see anybody, so I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the public portion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I make we have to go into executive first, so
Yep, so we can.
you're on.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by Mayor and Borough Council, the Borough of Servo, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 60 minutes to discuss the following matters: personnel. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Excuse me, it's personnel and one contract also.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask you that, if there's no action to be taken. So if there's no action to be taken, then we can,
Yeah, we should just let them know that no action to be taken.
yeah, that's it, and then we can adjourn afterwards. So ladies and gentlemen, after the close of our executive session, we do not intend for any action to be taken, so we will come back in and then adjourn our meeting. So for those that wish to stay, please do so. For those that are going home, have a great evening, okay? Thank you also. I need a motion to go into
Make a
close.
motion to go into close.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Gotta leave it running.
No. Leave it running.
Do you want, I'm not going with you, so do you want me to turn off the recording now or wait until you guys come back? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to
All right, I'll
officially
turn
close.
down the recording.
No, we're gonna go to 3:10, right? Okay. Let me come back down. It's so nice to meet you. I'm giving you a hug. Congratulations, Eunice. Congratulations. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, Christian said, aloha. That rhymes. That is so easy. They're gonna yell at me in the middle of the that says, if you guys wish to leave, by all means you may. I am so proud of you. Hold on, I have some things.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I told Karen, I am amazed that you guys drafted the TNR. Make a consensus.
I'm very excited.
Considering
Thanks,
all
guys. It was very good to see you. I'm glad.
I got an education from Brad.
We're gonna get yelled at if we don't get in here.
You guys like
I think they're calling you next enough.
Don't worry.
I've never known about that, so, but I've been debating that since February.
So what you do?
I had a lot of
Still with the
involvement this year. My first job as a communications chair was to see what the hell, what do they communicate, right?
How did it go over what it helped with anybody?
They were kind of lethargic about it. They were kind of lethargic about it. So I came right back to the
My
council.
friend did that, just do it, you know, just do it next
So
year.
they kind of rolled over it.
You know what, I wasn't giving up until the right thing got done. It's not he says he's got to shout, it's not he says he's
Yeah, I plan to be here long enough, but,
Okay.
you know, so.
So, which marshals are nine? Yeah, right, believe it or not. I gotta try and get marshals, oh my God. They just have, they're doing the kid stuff, are terrible, like Blake and Emily, it's, you know.
You know you're getting older.
There's no inventory, no holes, it's fair, it's sparse. I remember those holes are so hit or miss for me. Yeah, I know, I was disappointed more there than I was happy. Like, I know, me too. So I just stopped going. How's your mom doing? How's my?
He was one of my seventh grade school.
Oh, my God.
So talk about, you know,
Well, you remember you introduced me to Lorraine.
We knew she had.
I went to meetings. I went to her fiftieth wedding anniversary. Her husband passed away.
yes.
And,
So
she didn't
let me
remember,
step back in
but
March.
she sent
She
me
had
to the
UTI
principal.
and she was a little bit confused. Okay, yeah. So ran to the hospital, found out she had low sodium.
Oh, you never know.
Where was that that he was?
She was there for a week, and she wasn't walking or anything, so she had her detox, she was in the sheet.
It was either the first or
I mean, it
second.
comes and goes, okay? Yeah. But anyway, so fast forward,
A lot
bring
of
home, finally find a caregiver to take care of them. Right, I know. Anyway, so get a caregiver to take care of it, I'll pay the lady cash, and I'll pay the
Paid
lady
service
how to
mayor for
afford
a
to
year
pay
and a
for
half.
it.
and they're
That's
paying
not cheap,
the
$80
judge.
an hour, man, because, $160 a day.
He was a seventh grader, his father
The
was
lady
a
gets 6 weeks, the lady's leaving on
300
Wednesday.
around the clock, and they want, and they have to have 8 hours off.
So anyway, kept saying, don't get out of bed, don't get out of bed, you're gonna fall, if you fall, you're gonna break your hip.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
She takes care of it, she goes to every hour, every change, and everything else.
They just get
The
scared.
caregiver goes out to don't leave it, I don't want, I'm not keeping the job, I'm leaving it, you know what we do. Meantime, the caregiver was gonna stay till that Friday, she fell on a Wednesday, broke her hip, over to Overage, did the operation and everything. Overage called us, I think this was like a Wednesday, on a Saturday and said, okay, we're moving her to a facility, where do you want her to go? What do you mean, where do we have no idea. So we only picked that place because it was right by the hospital. It's all right, I mean, we're hoping to maybe.
It's rough. Are they allowing in-person visits?
Yes, we can go there. I couldn't go in the beginning, but she's turned 85, she's 85. But it's
Our families grew up together, literally. I mean, she's our, we go back to our grandparents.
Oh my God, we were,
God.
yeah. But it's hard, it's a hard. And we sold the house.
He took his, dumped it in the tea.
I know, it's not.
And my parents, and they didn't have the option, so this is.
Yeah, and they, yep, and they didn't.
So we sold the house. Well, wait, we have sold the house.
Where's Stanley at?
Well, he was living there, we put the money in, oh, put the house in his name, but that was only 3 years.
Yep, no, you're right, there's so screwed, how they get
So
you
anyway,
every upside
yeah,
down, it's all
so anyway, so, wait, so we get some, we only have a house on the market not that long, back from Staten Island. Well, he wanted to close by September 30th, but his day was still not. And we moved all the crap out of the house, Stanley moved down with his room in Middletown. It's been, I didn't put Stanley in about a month, it's been a cluster, we're still waiting to close, hopefully this week one day. We're gonna use that money to take care of her all, and then we're gonna apply for Medicaid for her. And she's in a wheelchair, she doesn't walk. This is it.
So the little house has to go to.
Everything, yeah, and then there's gonna be an annuity set up for her to pay for her. It's $11,000 a month we're paying out of pocket for her stay in this facility.
I was working privately for the families up in Venetian, they're paying $10,000 a month, they need to hire somebody to, oh, don't even get me started, I sat there 5 days, see, for 11 years, I volunteered there, but I only went once a month.
You could have taken her.
Kept their eyes on
You talk about more legs being one of the upside down.
Yes.
And they didn't have, like I said, because she
Where
said,
does this
why don't you
dissolution
put
then
the-
come in where you think things are, Denise, oh my God, I could still see your mom with that beautiful blonde hair flying around, doing her thing there.
I can't go home and
Auntie had no hair,
what time of year they can't do the treatments, and my mother, thank God they washed hers out before they laid her out, but only 10 people could see her anyway. It was just,
I know. So since March, Whole Lake has been flipped upside down.
and if she's wired on, the more less contact you have, the more isolation you have. People are less, they lose it even more.
They're wacky, one just screams all the time, calling, you know.
I stayed with Auntie almost every day because you know what? I knew Joe was gonna be at the end of the rope and there was no way she was going in. There was no way. At least you can get in there, nobody can get in there. I mean, when she started getting bad in like February or March, that's when I stepped in because there was no way. My mother never saw a day in one of those places. And after they had
I would love to have.
but it was a quickie.
There was just no.
But now you can't go, everybody's working.
And the aide, we had an aide, we were right for her mom, she
Don't
walked.
you lucky
She
like
lasted 6 weeks.
with this
You're lucky.
No, this is cool.
Watched your mother's body.
and stuff. Oh my God, it was so, especially with them because she's so hard, and that's the excuse. Oh,
That's what we're dealing with.
God, I will keep you guys in your prayers. How's Donna doing? She's retired. She retired.
Oh, God, she's
retired.
yeah,
I'm not doing anything else. You guys never seem like the type that could sit on your asses.
4 years ago. Listen, I
Well,
can't wait to
Sean,
go.
well, Sean does, took
Oh,
over.
that's right.
Yeah.
I totally
My
forgot.
future son-in-law.
Is it true?
What?
were voted the best
Maybe.
That's what I heard.
Don't even get me started. I went for her first fitting with her.
Oh, okay, so
You know,
she got her dress.
oh, yeah. Oh, God, you did hear that a year ago.
So O'Neill
I don't know, His family's small, our family's small, you know, let's fit this whatever. So whatever, you know, they were supposed to have it in the art, she was paranoid that, you know, we were gonna do it at night.
You had it from 2008
Because she thought that, like, somebody was gonna, like, that was gonna, that was her date, you know, that happened to so many brides, and so many things.
Certainly.
And look at, you know, her grandmother's on funeral, right, 10 people there, all the people that women knew, all the years she was in business, right? It's so sad though.
She wants to go, she's ready, ever since my father passed, she's ready too. And you know what?
My
It's
mother,
not
ever
like-
since Ralph died,
Oh
she
my
was
God.
ready. That's
Such
it.
a- oh my gosh, you guys are only teens, not even.
Well, no, my brother, after Ralph died, that was it. Yeah, I mean, the way he turned up dead, the passenger side of his car in Brunswick Village.
That's what it was.
He was left by Mike Way and Danny. And in the passenger side of his own car. And he had, congestive heart failure, and 9 weeks later, his 2-year-old daughter refused to stay with her mother. So we you know, took her out for 2 years, but thank God, the guy she was screwing on my brother with, took care of her. The guy who was having the guy she was screwing around with. She screwed around, and we didn't take the pilot down. Thank God, rather than around Vegas, because we were afraid. So 4 years later, we had 4 years of division after that, 2 years on our own, 4 years of division. They were like, God's not doing anything. I love
So
that.
you're adopted, right? No, or
My mom moved to adopted.
right? And now.
But she's been calling mom since she's been around with every crap. And now I'm her legal guardian, whose mom left me in the guardianship in her will, if anything happens.
I know, and how old is she? Teenager?
She is 14. She's a freshman. She'll be 15 on Our Lady of Guadalupe. She was born. Talk about the Lord.
Oh, that's my daughter's birthday.
Is she really?
How do you, is she good though? She's good?
She is a good girl.
You'll never get away from kids.
You know, and then Wayne and Jen, she.
My daughter's girlfriend, best friend was Muslim's daughter. In 1977. My wife got
He wants to talk to you. Yeah, oh, I don't know why she was like, I
No,
remember we
you
could
go.
call each other or something. Michelle.
No, I don't know.
Sarah mother, her mother.
Oh, Jimmy's married to Donna? Their son?
Yeah, right, she delivered my.
So Tom's brother's son.
Right.
I even met my wife, her daughter.
She said, oh, I put it on Facebook, where is how long I had him? Are they done?
He worked out his own business and did a very good job.
As a matter of fact,
Well, she brought the wood.
I was going out with her the first summer I was working at a shore.
Yeah, and we had her too, in the division. We gotta catch up. Oh, all right.
Back in after I was proposed.
Right, yeah.
I will see you on
I can go on, I just haven't done that. So my big thing is, are you coming to the executive father?
I live on Bridge, Washington.
He might,
He was in that corner, that Olszewski owner.
yeah, he might, so, Eunice is over in here.
Oh, okay. Hey, have you won the, I see your name on Deli Plus, I won one. I won a couple weeks ago, so, and Donna and I split. I haven't been playing for the game, we've been playing since like the summer or so. But anyway, yeah, we won it.
There's that one guy.
So has Carol Maya. She's won 5 times. And Amy too. So we actually got a $20 ones. Donna and I, we said whatever we ever win, we're gonna be split. So we wrote them all for the first handful, totaling Donna. I didn't win. Then Donna wrote one, it was a 50. Then a couple more duds. Then Donna wrote another, it was a 50. All right, we're getting there. Then I think she wrote another, it was a 30. The very last ticket, she goes, oh, I got a 5-timer. Huh? She goes, yeah. Oh, I got 20, so that's $100. Oh, I got another 20. I got another, before you knew it, she had a 0. I think we came out 330 or 340. So now what we're doing is we're using that. Hey.
Yeah. No, they're very good. They do a lot.
You know, Ruben calls me up when they have extra ones, and we can, like, already take 4 or 5 or 6 things. I mean, I feel bad, so I run down and take more. You play the same. Number.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I tried to get, but you know what, I don't know why I
But if it does 9, 12,
Yeah.
and I do all my lottery.
I've been doing mine.
I get my weekly,
Yeah.
7 days.
That's what I do too.
And I get my,
I sent something to Donna.
my mega
State has some calendar.
for as many as you can do.
Right.
It's 8 issues, so that you have to have registered 5.
I know.
But I do that.
That's a calendar. Got the other one heads.
I do, like in the morning on my way to work, I'll stop at the smokestack. But on the weekend, well, I usually do Saturday to Saturday, my work. So I just go up there on Saturday, I get the numbers and I get my pictures.
Saturday morning,
Yep.
when we on vacation,
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
and it was a big, big one.
Oh.
So it wasn't just a week that you
Do you ever play the fast play one? No, and I've been playing it.
I do it. I don't wanna keep going.
I know, you know, I don't even wanna think of what I spent the week.
Oh, yeah.
Cause you know, I'll go here one day, fish fry goes up, I'll get a couple. I'll go up back the next day, I'll get a couple. Then I go all week. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen, they're just gonna adjourn. I just.
Yeah.
You still doing it or no?
No. It's been pretty hard. But I used to, in 1 year,
Yes, I remember that.
he'd start yelling. Situation where you're not like one of those Asian
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, I've got to, settle pretty soon, I'm not that.
Yeah, I have my CFO license and I also have a tax court license. I don't practice it, but I have a license.
You don't have,
You know, I'm not ready to go yet, Mark.
you know, my wife said, we're going,
Next year,
if
I'm
she's
going.
going, it's for environmental, I'm going for she. And I go, it's a lot of stuff.
Of course.
You don't want to get a job.
But yeah, she's not going about much.
I'm not ready. I'm really not. Like, actually, I just said, I said, we actually went some really inside. Haley's car, we're not touching, we can ours. But other than that, we would take out or we'd sit outside.
How long the state bill those guys get?
Yeah.
I got a story.
what the mayor said, that the,
That's true.
at the trunk or treat, the borough one, she come up and says, oh, I'm so we missed 2 meetings, I said.
We keep an eye on everybody.
You ride in the elevator or?
Yeah.
All right, have a good night, Art.
You know what, Eleanor, I gotta show you something real quick now. I gotta show you something real quick. There must have been a reason why I did not take this out of my bag, but on the first of the month.
No, I have your work phone. But it's the same one, I can't. Oh, how's the guy, they said you don't work
I
there.
got this there. On the first of the month, it was off, obviously, you guys have to look. I in 2013, and obviously it was.
Okay, you can leave there. You wanna leave?
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a basket here.
No, nobody's gonna take it. Go ahead, go.
So I'm doing beer, hi, good morning, everybody, and after 12 months, and you know what? And I kept hearing the, this cross was there, and there was another cross that looked just like it. So I said, listen, I have to, I'm coming to myself, I said, this is Sunday, I come back and we'll same thing, if it's still there, I'll take it, because I wanted to give somebody the opportunity, I wanted it, it's been there forever, I want the basket. I'll see you soon. So you know what?
Take care, see you.
So Friday, I was saying, there, I went, and there wasn't many people there, it was Tuesday, and, I helped serve at the basket, I said, oh, that book's still there, I guess I'm gonna take it, and the other one I took, like, so, we would put in my pocketbook, I said, like, clean it up and make it nice, and cross is too beautiful to be sitting in, it didn't have a chain on it, right, or anything. So you know what, I go that night, I was cleaning my, my mom's after church and stuff, I said, oh, I got that for a hot ride, I'm just go wipe it up a little bit, don't look at it now, it's definitely needs to know my cleaning, but I'm like, this has gotta go. I said, this shouldn't be here, maybe I can break it off, like, unspin it, and it's all relative inside.
Are you serious?
As God is my witness, may it strike me dead. I swear to God, man. So then, this is a relic of first, these are all first-class relics in here, and this is first-class relic of St. John Newman. These are first male American saint.
Yeah.
I was baptized in a little bit, actually. That was all I was
You know, that he wasn't required of stands. I mean, it's a hard about.
Robin Weaver?
No, Lauren,
I hate this stuff.
go.
For some reason.
She's my third vacation.
She is my favorite member of the Christmas party from the Historical Society.
I know,
I'm taking her out, and for that, for the meeting, I know, I knew that, her son in school, and she lives, I live across the street from Buddy's,
Yeah.
in the parking lot,
I had her in third
the
grade.
dirt lot.
I had her in third grade. She sent me the original twice a year.
She was a cantor at church for years. Now I have the honor of taking her to a Historical Society meeting, now that I've changed them. The candidates could make the meeting, so I made our exact work meetings on Thursday, so I'm not take that, so I just, the arts.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, it was nice to meet you. I hope to see you.
Not to school.
My dad went, oh,
What? Fine, what?
that's her, that's relic right side of the altar,
So
St. Joseph's side.
that's how we started going. Oh my God. We didn't leave because of the new tax. We left before.
For which one, I was standing?
No, oh, no, no.
Or Joe, well, now.
No, my wife. No, the tax, you know,
Oh, we were talking about that before, okay, the new guy.
pronounced.
Oh, Wayne.
Wayne pronounced it, well, you know.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of Wayne, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Wow.
A lot of people. They threw me out of it.
Ouch.
But that's, so, you know, to get a relic like that,
Why?
that's.
God is good on All Saints Day. But, yeah, I
Very
will,
proud.
I'll tell you what, that will all of us, and, but that's what we should be raising each other up, instead of knocking each other down. Well, I'm glad I'm in business with this. You can't go wrong when you go with God. You forget to take them out. You're not invited? You don't go into the exec session?
I do, but, what they're talking about,
Yeah, you look so stressed out and tired.
My heart breaks for you.
I've been here since 6:15.
One of those days.
Well,
Well, I'm excited to talk to my kids.
likely to watch, the, you know, for the education stuff out there. The Board of Health gave this link this to us, I mean, I was like, I was kind of disappointed, I was like, they gave him such a nice big speech. So much freaking energy. Oh, God, I got 4 new vitamins at GNC tonight, oh my God. I'm so pissed about this, I'm like, the cortisol, no, now, the cortisol, oh my God, you know what, in the 3 years, but I'm like, you know, so, maybe a little bit of menopause, so I think I'm doing menopause, and it's just stress now because of my mom, now it's me, I'm like, oh, I don't know. So, and, you know, I said, God, did it get cortisol? So I went, I did some research quick this morning, I went up to GNC River this morning, of all these, types of things. Well, no, they're on sale at $89 bottle crap. You know what I'm talking about, you know. Somehow magically pops up on your feed, right? Your Facebook stuff, like all these things you seem to talk about and stuff. Magically pops up. So I said, you know, look, I got red, and I moved down one, and I went and got all that. Well, that one ashwagandha or something. I was like, maybe I should have taken that at night. Because I was just like starting to get a little, and then she came over to do my hair girls the afternoon right after. So I started to get a little, like, maybe just sitting in one place for too long. That week. I was like, God, I don't want to wake up, you know, like a little bit zippier before. But anyway, I don't drink, I don't do anything, I try to, you know, stay as healthy as I can. I gotta ride that stupid electrical machine, but Wayne, boom, 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 with those weights, it makes me feel guilty. Oh my God. All right, we cleaned our seats up, those guys will get their luggage, and God bless you, sweetie.
Have a good one, I'll talk.
Send your mom my love. I mean, I'm just, it is, I know, and they were so amazing, you know, you just think about all the days, you know. I wish I was a kid again, and I wish, you know what I'm saying, you know. How old is Stanley now, your brother?
He's good, he moved down with his girlfriend and.
Yeah, how old is he? I'm trying to put things, because he was like this, and you guys were like big and cool and cute and.
He'll be 56.
And you still are.
He'll be 56 in December.
Oh, so he's not that far behind me.
I turned 60 in February, I'll be 61.
Yeah, so he's not that far behind me now, still standing as
What are
like
you?
younger than me. I'm gonna be, I just turned 57.
Oh,
So, yeah, gotten there, boy, to let the decades just fly.
it does.
Kids make you go fast.
Have a good night.
All right, Denise, I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Take care, man. Tell Donna I said hi, please.
I will definitely.
Thank you.
taking a nap?
Honestly, it probably was.
Make a motion to go back to the public?
Second.
Hold on, we do have to
sorry.
wait for the clerk. Oh. Thank you for sticking around. No problem. That is dedication right there.
It's a pressing matter, I've had no choice.
Okay. Were you waiting for to speak in the public? No. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you. I was gonna say, if you were waiting I would have had you come up before we went into, oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We actually did that before you sat down, but we will do it again. Can I have a motion to reconvene?
Make a motion to reconvene?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, no.
Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you and I should definitely sit down.
Adios. Call me if you need me.